You know, sometimes as men, we walk around and we're angry and we don't know why. In fact, I meet a lot of men as I'm starting to talk to them. It seems like the closer I get to them, the more it starts to come out and come out and come out, and all of a sudden things are unfair and they start to get in your face. They may not be angry at you, but they're just angry and they don't realize why. So today I want to go through a quick checklist of why you might be angry and a couple things that you can do about it. This is not extensive, it's not all-inclusive, but I think it'll help some of you as men learning where your anger is coming from. Number one, we feel threatened in some critical way. Someone's critical of our job, critical of us as a spouse, critical of us as a father. Somewhere there's criticism coming in and it triggers anger. Number two, we have pent-up rage from hurts from the past that we just need a reason to explode. So it might be something that it was early on as a young child and it's still there, it's festering, we've never dealt with it. And all we need is for one person to pull out in front of us, or our wife to say the wrong thing, or our boss to do the wrong thing, and all of a sudden, boom, we become angry. Number three, our purpose or our purposes have been blocked. Maybe you have a particular purpose in your job and someone's blocking that. Maybe you feel like you have a purpose in your life and it's being blocked. Maybe you feel like there's a purpose for you, for the husband you're trying to be or the father you're trying to be, and someone's blocking who you are. This is who I am. This is what I was created to do, created to be, and you feel like someone's blocking that. That can trigger anger. Number four, we feel betrayed. I think everyone hates that feeling. You went out on a limb for someone, you talked to someone, you did something for someone, you were there for someone, and yet it seems like they turned their back on you, they betrayed you, they talked about you, they gossiped about you, they maligned your name. That triggers anger. Number five, we are linked to getting our needs have been threatened or broken. So we all have certain needs we have in life. Maybe your need is for touch. Maybe your need is for affection, words of encouragement. Maybe it's just financial needs. And when our personal needs are blocked, it can trigger anger. Number six, we don't have enough financial reserve, or we don't have enough emotional reserve. And I tie both of those together because a lot of times finances build a stress and we become angry about it. But in turn, it's also because our emotional reserve, our ability to deal with things, have become so drained. And at some point, we're going to talk about emotions and how to build your emotions, but they become so drained that even the smallest thing can set you off. Number seven, we are simply just releasing pain through anger. If you've ever had a physical pain or an emotional pain, a lot of times we just deal with it through blowing up. We don't know why. Number eight, we are embarrassed and we use anger to express that. I think we as men can all relate. There's something where we got embarrassed and we just blew up to cover it. Or someone laughed at us, someone mocked us. And rather than just be embarrassed, we cover that through our face turning red in anger rather than turning red in embarrassment. And then we try to belittle or speak down to that person in order to try to cover our embarrassment. Number nine, we're repeating anger from a pattern we learned growing up as a child. Sometimes we don't even know why we're angry, except we look back to where our parents were at, and we're like, my dad was always angry at everything. I don't know why, but that's where I learned it. The problem with saying that that's where you learned it is you feel like you can't change it. Sometimes people go, well, I'm just angry. I'm Italian, or I have this Irish temper, and like you can't change it. That's no excuse. Where you learned it or why, you can still change it. And number 10, we've gotten our own way all the time, and now all of a sudden we're in a situation where we don't get our way. And a lot of times we use anger to get our own way. We sulk, we pout, we yell, we scream, and we go, well, it's unfair that I don't get my way. And so we use anger as a tool to negotiate, a very poor negotiation tactic, but we use it to get our own way. Now here's what you do. Here's the problem with anger, men. This is what happens. When you become angry and it becomes a part of your persona and who you are, you begin to isolate yourself from other people. The problem is as you isolate, that only creates more anger. You need people around you to deal with your anger. You can't go out and practice hitting without a ball and a bat. You can't practice dissolving or resolving anger without people around you. They're your guinea pigs. They're your test subjects. So when you isolate yourself, you actually then create more anger. Now, check this out. We get mad at people who make us angry, right? You're making yourself more angry. Who are you supposed to be mad at? You should be mad at you, because when you begin to pull away and draw away from people and isolate yourself, you're making yourself more angry. Wake up. Here's the one thing I want to leave you with today. Now, it's not the all-inclusive way to deal with anger, but just one thing for you to concentrate on today. When Jesus was hanging on the cross, and all of those that were down there who said they loved him and they're going to follow him and, hey, we've got your back, and then 3 days later, they're crucifying him, what does he do? He's been so hurt, so brutalized, so betrayed, that he looks to God the Father, and what does he say? He says, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. He doesn't say, I forgive them. He says, Father, you forgive them. Don't miss the point. Sometimes we feel like I can't forgive people. I can't deal with this anger. It's too great. That's when you go, okay, God, you forgive them. You deal with the anger on my behalf. And that's what the cross was for. And as you continue to bring it to God the Father and say, you forgive them and you deal with the anger, it'll start to manifest and change in your own life and in your own heart. Guys, you got to know where the anger is coming from. And once you identify it, then you can go to God and say, God, you change them, not me. I can't. I'm helpless. So you change them. You forgive them on my behalf. We'll see you next week.